Having launched my own clothing brand in 2022, I'm going to share with you a little secret that I think will help you make a success of your own clothing brand's launch and that all important first 12 months. Okay, so to bring this to life, I want you to take a look at yourself and ask yourself this question: why am I wearing the clothes that I'm wearing right now? Okay, I am willing to bet with you that it is one of these four reasons: function, design, status, or how it makes you feel. Terrible writing. Okay, but now ask yourself, what do all four of these motivations have in common? I believe the answer to that is that they all add value, some form of value or enough value that you were prepared to exchange your hard-earned cash for. As a clothing brand owner then, what's the most important question that you can ask? The question is, how can I add the most possible value for my customer? And the way to do that is by optimizing these three important elements of your clothing brand. First is price. The second is quality, and then the third is service or experience, which I think is more the point in the world of online where we live at the moment. Okay, so the reason why is because it is the intersection of these three important elements of your clothing brand where value is formed. Now, I don't have time to go through each of these three elements in full today. That's perhaps worthy of a video in their own right, but what I want to do today is focus in on price and give it some real sort of deep consideration that will allow you to think strategically about how you're going to position your product and your price when you launch your clothing brand. Now, to give you a live example from my own business, I sold this sweatshirt for £60, close $70 maybe. Sold it for £60. The cost of that item all in was about £30. So I made £30 gross profit, which is equivalent to 50% margin. Now, I sold this identical sweatshirt for £40, still with a cost of £30. So I made a £10 profit on this one, which is a 25% profit margin. So, question to you, which would you rather? Okay, now instinctively you'd rather sell this one, wouldn't you, for £30 profit? But it's not quite as straightforward as that, as you probably gathered already. It's all very well making a 50% profit margin, but as an old friend and colleague of mine from Ireland used to tell me, 50% of fuck all is still fuck all. So, you know, by that he meant it's no good charging a silly price if as a result of that you're not actually going to shift any product at all, which makes sense, right? So personally, I'd rather sell 100 sweatshirts at £10 profit each and make £1,000 profit than I would selling 20 of these, making £30 profit and only £500 total profit. So the question is, how do you optimize that volume and price relationship in order that you can maximize your profit? Now, you'd think that once you've solved that equation that you've got this whole thing nailed, but again, there's something else that you need to consider. Okay, so the thing that you need to consider is the role of price. Price serves two functions, okay? The first of which is to cover your cost and make a profit. The second is that it is a signal to your customer of the quality of your product and everything that you are making available to them. So you may have concluded, as I suggested previously, that the ideal scenario is that you price it low in order to sell the volume. But consider that by pricing low, you may be adversely affecting the brand perception in the minds of your customer. Now, pricing low may suggest low quality, and as a result of that, you may not end up selling the 100 Freudian slip there, 100 pieces that we spoke about before. So you may not be able to achieve the volume that you anticipated as a result of having dropped that price. Or even worse than that, you may have inadvertently set a price in the minds of your customer, a maximum price that they are prepared to pay for your products, and thereby setting a price ceiling, not just in the short term, but in the long term. So think about pricing in the here and now, but also how it's going to evolve over time. So then, what does it all mean? It means that finding that sweet spot between price and volume is going to be really, really challenging. And it's not going to be something that you're likely to nail from the outset, but hopefully by having given it some thought as a result of watching through this video, you're going to be able to make a deliberate decision about how you are going to price your product. And once you've done that, you can test and learn, refine, and then go again. So what are the next steps then? Well, my recommendation to you is that you do something similar to what I'm now revisiting with my own clothing brand, which is to consider your pricing in the context of not just a standalone single product, but your overall product portfolio. The chances are that you've got some products that are of a low cost and some that are naturally quite higher, and they're going to generate different profit margins for you naturally. So think about how you can structure your range of products in order that each product performs its own role. So for example, you may have an entry price product, for example, a beanie. Again, terrible writing, I will try and improve upon that. A beanie that maybe is low cost to you, that you can sell and make a reasonable percentage margin and sell quite a few of them on the basis that it's a low ticket entry item. And then perhaps you've got tees. Maybe that's the core of your business, as it is for me. You probably do a reasonable volume on those and make a middle ground in terms of a cash margin. Or you could decide to invest in a particular design, sell that on a promotion at a very low margin, but on good volume, as in this example, in order to get shirts on people's backs. You know, let's not forget, the greatest sort of credibility that you can add to your brand is for potential customers to see other customers wearing your brand. So there's huge benefit in going sort of down the volume route, I think, in the first instance, assuming of course you can gradually transition to the higher profit margin model. And then maybe at the other end, you've maybe got hoodies, which by their nature are more expensive, but probably generate you a decent cash margin per item. But typically, because of the higher price, they're going to sell fewer of those. So think about the whole product offer. That is just a very simplified model, but you get the idea. Give it some thought before you launch, and I'm sure that it will make the difference in the first 12 months or so. So good luck with it. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Let me know how you get on. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.